All right. Hey, welcome traders to followmetrades.com special live trading room for the FOMC announcement, which is coming up in about 30 minutes. So glad to have you here. And again, welcome. Uh, Make sure you can locate the chat box. So definitely want to make this interactive and have you ask questions and comments, kind of weigh in here as we go through it. So on the Zoom webinar control box, if you mouse over there, you should be able to see both a hand raise icon and a little balloon for chatting next to that. So if you go ahead and locate that, and hey, Edward, good afternoon to you. You must be east of me because it's still morning here on the west coast of the U.S. But yeah, locate that chat box and go ahead and type in where you're calling from, what city, what state, what country. It's always fun just to make sure you can find that chat box, and then it's always cool to see where the various folks are calling from. Naples, Florida, Seattle. Hey, Mark, I'm just south of you here in Olympia. Phoenix. All the people on the East Coast are wishing they were in Phoenix with nor'easter number 4. Dublin, California, Indianapolis, Tampa, New Orleans, DFW, Ash. Still snowing in Richmond. Man, crazy. Not that bad in Ottawa. Rome, New York, as opposed to Italy. Bellevue, even closer than Seattle. They're about the same. Staten Island. Used to live in Eugene, Egypt. Wow. SoCal, DuPont, just up the road, Barrie. All right, looks like people are still logging in, and we've got time. MedHat is calling in from Cairo, Egypt. Well, you get the distance award, MedHat. That's awesome. Cairo, Egypt. I know you've been a long time customer, MedHat. Good to have you show up. It's hot. I'll bet it is. Still wrapping up a bit of a cold here. Cough. Whatever the crud was going around, everybody had it. Hey, Lee. All right. Make sure you can locate that hand raising thing. Go ahead and click that button. And we'll be using that as we go here as well. There we go. Got a few people putting their hands up. Very good. All right, you got it. All right. Well, again, welcome to the followmetrades.com. This is a special live trading room. We normally have our trading room Monday through Thursday for an hour and a half at the open, but when there's a big event like today's FOMC announcement, we do a special live trading room and quite often invite people to join. So glad to have both the subscribers here and lots of guests. Hey, Tony. No, we're not going to dump all our positions. We're going to manage our trades according to our trading rules. So if they hit the stops, we'll get out. But otherwise, no, we're staying with them. Hey, Myron. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Okay, so hey, a quick disclaimer as we get started here. So this is the live trading room. And just I'm a trader. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving financial advice. So everything presented in this room is for education and information purposes only. I'm going to be looking at live markets. I'm going to give my opinion on them using analytical tools I've developed over the years. I'll share a couple live trades that I'm in, and if new ones emerge, we'll point those out. But whether any individual places a trade or an order makes an investment, that's strictly the decision of each individual. Only you know what's appropriate for you, for your account size, your tolerance for risk. A lot of factors go into making a decision in the markets. And again, only you know what's best for you. And so I share what I'm doing, but each person ultimately needs to make their own decision and of course, be responsible for that. All right. So Sarah, hey, you got your hand up. If you got a question, jump in. You can type in questions or make comments at any time. So I know we got lots of guests here, so I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. I'm Dean Jenkins. I'm the founder of followmetrades.com. And I've been trading and investing for over 20 years. I really got started when I first started at Intel Corporation, working there. And they gave us incentive options and employee stock purchase. And man, Intel, when I joined in 93, and it would split and double every year for like clockwork. And that got my attention, the potential in the stock market, and kind of whet my appetite. And I decided I was a really good trader because I had this stock and it just kept going up. So I traded through the .com thing and did, up and down, up and down. I went and got my MBA from the University of Washington, go Huskies. And for a long time, I was a fundamental trader, analyzing everything they teach you in business school, and earning statements and ratios and all this kind of stuff, and ultimately found it to be a very frustrating and inconsistent approach to trading. So I got mixed results, had some good winners, had some losers. And I eventually, around 2007, I totally gave up on the market for a while. I just pulled out, went to cash, and that was really good luck because if you remember, the market crashed right after that. And so that was pure blind luck. That was not a strategy. But after the market started coming back, I just couldn't stay away. Trading is too much fun, too interesting, too compelling. And I got back in, and I got in some winning trades. Like I got into Bank of America at $5. It went to 12. And I was stressed out even with a winning trade. And I just realized I didn't have a disciplined methodology for trading. So I really started looking into that. And I got interested in technical trading in about 2010. Took a couple years, went down some wrong paths, got enticed by very seductive ads and, indicators that would just, black box, tell you what to do and make, print money. And as you guys know, that's not true. It actually takes hard work to trade successfully. But I made a lot of mistakes and ultimately settled about 2012-ish on the current trading system that I'm using now. And the key to that was having a mentor, someone who helped me, settle into a system, gave me feedback, kind of held me accountable. And so it was really good. And it was Bennett McDowell from TradersCoach.com was my mentor. And I actually ended up working for them, doing coaching for a while, and then launched my own company in 2015, Following the Trades. So that's a quick note about who I am, a little bit about my journey. If you're curious about what kind of results I'm getting, I do post them on my website. Here's my homepage, and I post a table here of the annual results I'm getting, and those are audited by a third-party CPA firm. And each year, you can see the details of every trade I take. I believe in being completely transparent. So there's every trade I've taken year to date and closed. I got to update this. We got a few more to add on, but winners and losers, and no surprise, some trades lose, right? But overall, we are pretty consistently profitable. I'm pretty happy about it. So that's well, my screen is doing something really weird. Let me try and adjust to this. Get that out of the way. All right. So that's just a quick little bit about me. So let's talk about today what we're going to do. I have a setup for trading the news, and I'm going to share that setup with you. So we're going to watch the market reaction, because when there's a big news event, a planned news event, or when there's breaking news, it wasn't planned, it happens too, but the market often reacts. Now, I'm a technical trader now. I trade purely based on price patterns and actions. Right, I check a few fundamental things just for liquidity and make sure there's not going to be anything disruptive. But when I place trades, I could care less what the earnings are or PE ratios or any of that stuff. I'm a technical trader. And the same thing with the FOMC announcement. In terms of my trading, I don't really care what the Fed says. Of course, I care as a citizen and all that stuff. But in terms of trading, I don't care what the Fed says. I care what how the market reacts to their announcement. I believe in a portion of the efficient market theory in that all known information is incorporated into current price, and that price forms patterns, right? Efficient market theory says you can't beat the market. I disagree with that because I'm doing it and have been for years. But I do believe all current information is reflected in current price, right? So I just look for the reaction, and then if my setups are met afterwards, take a trade. But I don't try and guess if the Fed does this, the market will do that. I think that's a losing game. So I just trade based on the reality of what actually is happening. So I'll share my setup, and if we get the setup, I'll demonstrate the trade, and then we'll discuss some trade setups on larger time frames. I'll share some trades that I am in right now looking at that still have good entries that you might be interested in. And I think you'll leave today with a couple actionable trades, and I'd be happy at the end to analyze any trades that you're watching and are interested in. Shark, we actually have somebody here named Shark. Good to have you here. Yeah, I don't trade futures. I watch the futures market, and we're going to watch the futures market here very closely as the announcement comes out. But I actually place my trades with stocks and ETFs and options. I like options a lot. Um, I like longer time frames. I do not trade intraday. I'm not a day trader. And futures are great for day trading, but I would not hold them overnight. I think you're inviting disaster. If something happens and you're holding futures positions overnight, you can get that really annoying call from your broker saying, yeah, about that margin. Yeah, when would we expect that wire transfer, right? Because your account is not only gone, but it's negative. So I don't day trade, so I don't trade futures. So it's stocks and options for me. And the S&P is stuck in a range. It popped a little bit this morning, but it's pulling back. We're going to look at the charts in a minute. But yeah, I think waiting for this big announcement from the Fed is what's got things stuck just a little bit. So no surprise there, right? All right, so that's the agenda for today. I'm going to show you my setup here in a minute, and then we're going to wait for the announcement to come out. We're going to see if the setup is met and see if there's a trade there. I'll share some more trades and analyze any charts that you're interested in. So hopefully that's of value to you. Looks like more people are logging in. Welcome. Again, make sure you can locate that chat box. You can type in any questions, and later when we go to look at charts, you can let me know what you're interested in. But we got some time. We got about 20 minutes, 19 minutes until the announcement coming out. So Hector, hey, you got your hand up. Good to see you. So let's start off. Let's take a poll. What do you think the Fed's going to do? I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off. There. Don't have to look at me anymore. Let's take a poll. Chris, hope everybody had a happy lunch. Hey, it's not lunchtime here yet, man. So here comes the poll. Hopefully you can see this. If everything's working correctly, if the technology is going. So how many rate hikes do you think the Fed will announce for 2018? 3, 4, or more? Or I have no idea. Jerry's dinner time where you're at. Where you at, Jerry? Jerry with a tilde sign over your last name. Sweden. Well, nice. We got somebody from Cairo, Egypt. I wish my geography was a little better. I'm not sure which one's farther. Josh says a 95% chance they raise it today. Well, make sure you vote. Over half the people have voted so far. I'll give you a few. Ash says Egypt is further. Thank you. Jerry just signed up for my stock picks. Awesome. MedHat, make sure you put your vote into the results there. They're still coming in, so I'm going to wait. Once we get the results, I'll share them. You guys are pretty active. You're engaged. We got about 70% of the people are participating in the poll. That's awesome. That's higher than normal. So you guys are awesome. It's more fun when you respond. Morris, there's a different twist on it. Maybe bigger raises rather than more. Maybe like 50 basis points instead of the normal 25. Interesting. All right, votes are still trickling in. They're slowing down, but we're at nearly 100 votes. Pretty good. We got 132 people here in the room, so nearly everybody's voting. But it looks like it is slowing down, so I'll end the polling, and I will share the results. There, you can see it. So 53% of the people said 3 rate hikes, 19% said 4, 4% said more, and a full quarter of you have no idea. I have no idea either. And in terms of trading, I don't care. Like I said, I care about how the market responds. So we'll see. We are about 15 minutes away from having the answer to this question. So what I'm going to do now is Go ahead and share my chart. We'll take a look at the current market. So after doing the polling, make sure, can you guys see my charts okay? You should see 6 charts here on TradeStation. Okay, good. Morris. Yeah, we just did a little introduction and setup here. So in terms of trades and stuff. Larry. Yeah. Remind me at the end. I probably won't remember. NOC. Okay. So S&P 500, my chart setup here is I've got the S&P 500 futures, the ES, broadly known as the E-mini, on the right. In the middle, I've got gold. On the left, I got oil. You know, S&P, that's you know, the big index, right? 500 largest companies in the U.S. And then gold and oil, that represents a huge portion of the overall market. This is what I watch in my live trading room. Now, again, I don't trade futures, but we do take setups from these charts. And it gives us overall market direction because we can go trade. If we have a setup on the S&P, we can go trade with the SPY, the ETF, or some other instruments. And it also, when we're looking at individual stocks, we kind of want to know if they're correlated with the S&P. So it's good to keep an eye on it. The top chart here is a 10-minute chart. It's a good time frame to show what's going on, the trend for the day or for a couple days. Too big to trade intraday, of course. The bottom chart is a 5-tick range chart, which is a great intraday time interval. It's actually not time, it's a price interval. So if range charts work, I've got it set at 5 ticks. So every time price moves 5 ticks beyond a 5-tick range, it paints a new bar. So it shows you pure price movement on a pretty fine resolution with no time element. So it doesn't matter how long it took. It can be, you know, a fraction of a second, or it can be an hour before it moves and makes a new bar. But it's pure price movement. And so gold, 10-minute chart here on the top, 8-tick range chart on the bottom, and oil, 10-minute chart and an 8-tick range chart there as well. Medhat says he doesn't think 50 basis points will happen. Rajendra, bottom chart is a range chart. So it's not a tick chart, it's a range chart. Tick charts are different. If you notice on a range chart, every bar, the high to the low is the exact same distance. These are all the same distance. So when price is going up and it goes beyond 5 ticks, it paints a new bar, and it gives you the same open, high, low, close, but when price goes again above 5 ticks, so on, so on. So that's a range chart. A little bit different than a tick chart. Ticks accumulate ticks. Okay. So let's analyze the S&P 500 here. So today, you know, all day yesterday, we had this nasty sideways channeling market really going from here to here. Reminds me of the old video game Pong, right? You know, badoo, badoo, badoo. If you're old enough, you remember Pong. Today, it started off that way. Then we had a bit of a break. It broke out of that channel, but it's pulled back. And so I think, again, the market is just waiting for the Fomc announcement before it takes off on the next trend. So we don't really have a trend right now. If we look at the 60-minute chart on the S&P 500, we step back out. So every price bar is an hour, right? We had a bit of a downtrend. We had lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And it broke above that. It broke above this channel. I use Ichimoku Cloud. You can see it here on my chart. It's a shaded region. You can see it kind of broke above the cloud. We got this pyramid here, which indicates potentially the beginning of an uptrend. We had a downtrend channel, maybe an uptrend beginning. Did I say that? Did I say up? Downtrend channel, maybe up beginning, a bit of bullish momentum beginning. So that's a little weak to call the beginning of a trend. So I think, again, we're just waiting for the FOMC announcement before anything really, any kind of definitive direction. And quite often the market reacts pretty dramatically to the FOMC announcement. but not always. Not always. So maybe a dud. That's happened before. I do these sessions for the FOMC announcement about 4 times a year, and I'd say 3 out of 4 times something happens. Josh, can I show you how to add a stop after you purchase shares on the TradeStation web, not the platform? I haven't. I use the app, the phone app, so I know how to close positions on that, but I haven't used their web thing, Josh. So I'm probably not the best. They must have a tutorial online about how to do that. But yeah, I've never done it on their web-based trading platform. I don't use it. All right. So S&P no trend. Let me tell you what my trade setup is that I look for. I am still leaning bearish on the S&P, Chris. It's a good question. I'm glad you asked. And let me show you why. Let's get to the S&P cash. EJ, good question. How many people are using TradeStation 10? I am still on 9.5 myself. I'm not an early adopter. I wait until they get those things stabilized. But it is curious how many people would be using it. So the S&P overall, right, we had this big pullback in early February, a bit of a retracement to it, and now coming right down to the cloud. So it'd be interesting to see. The cloud predicts support and resistance. So currently it's predicting support, but it's very weak. You can see right where the price is hitting the cloud. It's at a crossover. It's very thin. You know, during the uptrend, look at a beautiful job that the Ichimoku cloud did in predicting where the support areas were going to be. Price can come into the cloud, but every time during this uptrend, it has reversed and continued the trend. And the cloud was pretty thick. It's very, very thin. It's changed colors, and so there's a chance we could be breaking through. So I think this is overall sort of a bearish setup right now. We had a little double top. It kind of went above, but really couldn't close above that previous high. So I'm suspecting that I'm biased more toward the downside than the upside. Jerry, when am I going to do a deal on the cloud? I'll do a deal for you, Jerry, right now. Shoot me an email, and I'll hook you up, man. There's my email in the chat box. Sweet cheers, he says. Yeah, if you have a specific currency pair you'd like me to look at, Ahmad, I can do that. Just give me the pair afterwards and the time frame you're interested in. Price did go above the cloud there, Chris, but it stalled here at this previous high. It intraday went above it, but it couldn't close above it. Let me show you my trade setup that I'm looking for here for the news. So typically, when there's big news that comes out, like the FOMC announcement, there's a dramatic movement in price, a dramatic reaction. So there's the move after the news, and that's what I look for. I don't try to guess what it's going to do. I think that's a losing game. But after it does it, then we look for a retracement. Typically, after a dramatic remove, there's a retracement. We look for it to retrace into a Fibonacci zone between 38.2 and 61.8. So when the initial move happens, I'll draw some Fibonacci lines, and we look for the retracement. And then I look for entry when we get a lower low, lower high, or a low, lower low, low, lower high, new low. So there's an aggressive entry here, conservative entry here, and then, you know, off it goes. If you get this pattern, there's typically going to be a follow through, a continuation that's pretty good. That's how it looks on a down move. On an up move, it looks like this. Here's the initial move on news. Here's the retracement, Fibonacci zone, and then an aggressive entry at a high, higher low, new high, and a conservative entry up here, and then, of course, a follow through. So that's kind of what it looks like, and that's the setup. Pretty easy. Okay, let me get back to the charts. And we are 5 minutes away. So what we're going to do is focus in on our futures chart here. Oil typically could care less about what the Fed does. Gold and the ES are very sensitive to it. So we'll be watching for moves on S&P 500 and on gold. So let me see if I can slip in your Forex pairs. Daily chart, Ahmad. So Euro USD, this was wave 3. I use a very simple, repeatable form of Elliott wave in my analysis. Keep it simple. This is wave 3. This was a shallow wave 4, but it was wave 4. And this is wave 5. So it's very near the target. And I had drawn this a couple months ago when someone asked about it. So the target is up here, 61.8 to 100% Fibonacci extension level. That may have been it. It just touched the target zone, and it may be over. So you start to see some minor lower low, lower high, heading lower. It's in the cloud. I wouldn't try and go long unless it broke again, maybe get up into here. I wouldn't try and short it in the cloud either. So there'd be no trade for me on that, on Euro USD. Keep an eye on the time. USD yen. It's in a pretty big downtrend. That is too big to be a correction, I believe, but I don't have to guess. I can measure. Use my Fibonacci retracement lines. It still is a retracement. Here's the big move up on US Japanese yen. The retracement went a little deep, but the disqualifying level would be here at 76.4. So if it reverses up from here, you may have another rally coming in this pair in that target zone. If this is the bottom, and we don't know that yet. If that's the bottom, then you got a target zone up here pretty high. I would want to see a couple higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Ideally get above the cloud, and then you could be looking at a long trade on that pair. That's my analysis on that. Yeah, Mark, in evaluating the response to the news, we're going to be watching the range chart primarily. We'll keep an eye on the 10-minute chart as well. So the 10-minute and the range, but the intraday setups will be coming off the range charts. And I like the futures, Morris, because they tend to lead just a little bit, and they trade around the clock, so they give us more data and a little higher resolution analysis. EJ, what am I planning to trade if there is a setup? So if there is a setup on the S&P or on the gold, then I'll use the ETF, SPY or GLD. You're welcome. What do I see as a high for oil? We have got a price target on oil on a 60-minute chart. So I'm more about the time frame, the interval in the chart than exactly when that would happen. So let me see. I think I've got it on a continuous contract because this is a fairly new one. Let's don't lose track of time. We got 2 minutes till the announcement. Let's see if I can get this done. So my price target on the current move on crude oil is here. Looks like wave 5 target zone is up above $70. Crazy as that might sound, that's the reality. Okay, 1 minute. So I'm going to be watching the charts here, watching for the setup. So somebody else watch the news. Let us know what these guys say. I care about what they say in an abstract sense, but I'm much more interested and concerned in how the market reacts. And we should have something here pretty quick. There it goes. I'd call that a reaction. And look, gold and ES both going up. Typically, Sarah, I've avoided the volatility indexes. I used to trade them, particularly after the meltdown last month. I've started avoiding them. So here's the move. Here's the initial move after the announcement. This whole thing right here. We're in the Fibonacci retracement zone right now, and it's already going a little bit below it. This would be a disqualifying level right here. It gets down to this level, then it's more than a retracement. Then we got a little bit of chaos. Let me color that so you can see it a little more clearly. So there it goes. We got a high, higher, low. So the target on this, now we use Fibonacci extensions, and this may be a very fast intraday trade. I'm not sure if I could get that on fast enough. Come on. So it's a pretty small move. This was, you know, it looked a little crazy, but it wasn't that big of a jump on the S&P. 25, well, 20-point jump. That's not, I guess that's nothing to sneeze about. But the target zone here is not very big for this intraday move. Now, it may settle out and give us a bigger trade that I'd be interested in taking, but the little intraday move here doesn't get me very excited. Because I'm not going to trade with futures, I'd be trading with the ETF and options. It's got to be a little bit bigger move than this to be worth it. Sarah's asking J Nugget. I think those are the leveraged ones. Yeah, and you see this is failing. This is breaking down. So this correction now is right at this disqualifying level. So that wasn't a great setup. So that was not a real good setup. Look how it, on the 10-minute bar, it wicked way up. It's pulled way back. Just keep watching this. Wow, look at it go down now. That is pretty volatile. Not really tradable. SPY's only up 55. Yeah, because it wasn't a big enough move to get too exciting. Yeah, the 2:30 meeting, they you know, at 2 they dropped their kind of press release, and at 2:30 then Mr. Powell, having chaired his first open market committee meeting, will hit the mic and give a little more insight. Yeah, I'd like to be bullish on gold, Sarah. It's been heading down. It hasn't given us a good setup in the last couple of weeks. We've been watching natural gas, and the report will be out tomorrow, the natural gas report. We'll keep watching it after that. We would like to see it put in a bottom. The retracement potential on it's pretty big. Well, it looks like lots of folks have joined while we were watching this. Welcome. Three-hike outlook for 2018. So here's the whole price movement on ES since the announcement dropped. Had an initial run up right before, right at the report. Had an initial run up. Let me compress this a little bit. So the net of all this is just some kind of chaotic volatility, right? Big run up, 100% retracement, and now it's heading back up again. That is whipsaw territory for day traders. That is make your broker rich day. Hey, Bernard, glad to have you. Yeah, non-event, Josh, in terms of a quick trade to be had. The market did react, but it's reacted in a very volatile, unstructured way. So non-event to find a trade, but there was a definite where do you get the best live commentary for the FOMC meeting? Right here. We don't care what they're saying. We care what the market does. I don't know. There's several live blogs that post. Forex Factory is a good source for real-time news. Benzinga is okay. Yeah, all up to the press conference now to shake the tree. So what are we at? We had 11:07. We'll hang out and see what the reaction is. Then everyone on CNBC looks like they haven't slept for 3 days. Well, that's part of the job description, right? Show up with a wrinkled shirt, needing a shave. All right, now it's heading up. It's chaos. Well, let's look at some longer term charts. Let's have some more fun here. I'll share with you right now. Tom doesn't have audio, or Tony doesn't have audio. So if I say, Tony, it's working, he probably can't hear me. So I'll type it. Tony, it's Tony P, not Tony B. What type of range bars do I use for at US? I don't look at US. I haven't figured that out. What you want to do is get, the setting where you get, a couple hundred bars per day on average. I will look at TLT for you in just a minute, Lee. We were short TLT a while ago, and we did really well on it. We had a nice win. Let me show you a trade I like right now that I'm in. I'll give you one for free. Momo. Now, we've been in this a while. We got long on Momo at 32.13, but we've trailed our stop a couple times. So the current stop is 35.16, and the current target is 50.75. So you got enough reward to risk left. And by that, I mean the amount, if you enter right here at this price, if you get in right now at $39.99, and it were to go to the target at 50.75, you would make, about 20 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 and some change. if you were to get in here and the trade were to fail and go down to the stop and get stopped out, you're going to lose about $5 per share. So that's a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. So that still makes sense. And this trend is still going on and it's still strong. So as long as we got a good current reward to risk ratio, we're good to go. So there's a new entry on Momo if you're looking for a long trade. It's a Chinese internet stock. This is an Elliott Wave 5. I mentioned that I use a very simple version of Elliott Wave. No reason to stare at charts for hours and do all kinds of convoluted thing. It's just simple. There's wave 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in 5, and we're looking for 5 to complete up into this Fibonacci extension area. That's it. That's as complicated as it gets. There's no mini cycles, subcycles, grand cycles, ABCs, none of that stuff. Just big waves, right? Chris says Momo's pretty. Yeah, it is. So there's a trade if you're interested. But Lee wanted to look at TLT. I'll do it. We were short. So we got short here. Again, nothing complicated. Here's wave 4. Big dramatic move. Here's a correct move. No, sorry, 3. 3 down, 4 up. We were trying to trade 5. We took it right there. Took profit down here. Got stopped out here. It was awesome. It's consolidating right now. I would, by the time it would be to proven to enter again, it would be down here. Your stop, because of this current movement, would be clear up here at this high. The reward to risk ratio on this isn't good. This distance from the entry to the stop is bigger than the entry to the target, so it's a no-go. So that's my story on TLT. Tony, J&J, Johnson & Johnson. See, we've analyzed a few time frames here on J&J. Let me clean it up a little bit. Because there is a potential trade here on J&J. And it's on a 60-minute chart. So J&J, again, it's super clear. This is actually we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for 5 to start. So now we want to measure the potential on this. So this was 2. So there was a perfect 4. Now we're going to take a look at 5. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, come on. The platform's getting a little overwhelmed. There. Target on J&J on a 60-minute chart is between 121 and 112. What we want to see is this lower low, lower high continue. Here's lower low, lower high, lower low. It's right up against the cloud. We want to see one more low, and then that would be a good entry right here. Got a nice target down here. GE for Frank. You know, one of these days, GE's been in, you know, an epic slide, absolutely epic slide, and showing no signs of ending, right? How do you define a downtrend? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower high, lower low, new low. One of these days, it's going to turn around and retrace up, and it might be a good trade there. And the companies fortunes, companies' financials and outlook and all do not have to change for this to rally. It could be simply people covering your shorts, your short trades, the shares that are short. Right? You can get a short covering rally that could move this thing 50%. Larry, please explain my trail stop process. Sure. I'll show you on Momo. You've heard me mention a few times if you've been here, Dow theory. So I use Dow theory. Dow theory simply says the price moves in an uptrend in higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. You can see these pyramids are calling some of these out. Right, so I simply trail my stop from a higher low, and then when a new high is put in, up to the next higher low, next higher low, next higher low. Right, those are crucial support levels. Price was moving up, price doesn't move in a straight line, it moves in higher highs, higher lows, came to a support level, went on to a new high. That's a key level. That's a key level. And what we do is just stay with the trend and keep trailing to these levels until it no longer happens and we get stopped out. And then the trend is over. That's where you want to be out, is when the trend is over. You want to stay with the trend for as long as it's going on. That's how I do it. Good question. Josh wants to look at CS. Tony says, wow, I was long and stuck a fortune in J&J. Oops. Sorry about that. Credit Suisse looks like it's getting ready to head down. Here is a beautiful downtrend, a perfect correction, wave 4 up, starting wave 5 down. This is awesome. I'm glad you brought it up. I would like to trade this here thing. Oh, yeah, there it is. Come on. Yeah, I'm getting some real latency here. There we go. Nice potential target. I'm going to make a note of that one. What would Facebook have to do for me to buy? To buy? Buying Facebook is not on my radar at this moment. Shorting Facebook is absolutely on my radar. So super interesting. In February, they went down to the 200 moving average, pulled back up. They have now broken through it. That was a support level. Now we're going to see if that's a resistance level and if they reverse back off. They do. Next day or two, I'm going short Facebook into this target zone down here. Mark would like PG. I got so many more. I'll just do one for you, Mark. They had a failed wave 5. This was 3 up, 4 down, 5 failed. Just missed the target. Looks like a brand new trend. A little late to try and short this, wait for it to pull up, and then catch the next down move. I'll never catch up with all the symbols. You're welcome, Larry. John would like SunPower and First Solar. Let's take one of them. SPWR. You know, this could just totally pop. This is great. Big, huge, massive down move, right? From, where did this thing come from? over $100 on the weekly chart. Finally put in a bottom, found some support down here. Look how it's popping now, getting ready to come up off the Ichimoku cloud and break the 200. I'd be interested in the long here, about 862. That's a good one. There's a couple solar stocks we were tracking in the trading room. I like it. Verizon. Oh, wait. Walmart. Walmart, yes, bullish. Big wave 5, perfect wave 4, it's consolidating. We got to wait for a couple higher highs, higher lows, ideally for it to break through the cloud. It needs to thin out and break. But if, we're not there yet, so just make sure you qualify it, right? If that is the bottom of wave 4, right here, we got a nice target. Way up above 117. It's got to finish bottoming out, put in a higher high, higher low, break the cloud. But future long on Walmart. VZ, I think that's Verizon. It's terrible. Look how it just swings in these, big move, 100% retracement. It's a chaotic chart. I wouldn't touch it. Tesla, yeah, let's look at that. Tesla has been struggling. Not tradable right now. See this chaos. This is kind of on a smaller scale of what we saw in Verizon. It's got to pick a direction. By the time if it picks a direction down, it's kind of already in the retracement zone, so not really very tradable on a daily chart. There may be small time frames you could trade it because it's moving so much. Ford, excuse me. Ford, yeah, let's look at it. We got about a couple minutes till the conference, so we'll keep going till then, and then we'll watch the futures. Well, let's go. What are they doing? What are the futures doing? Are they doing anything? Well, we do have a high, higher low, new high. So the market's heading up a little bit. Got 180, 90 points on the Dow. So they're not upset with Jeremy Powell. Ford. That's a pretty ugly chart. You could probably look at a 60-minute and you would see a wave 3 here and a 4, maybe getting ready to head down again. So that short would probably be the trade on Ford. You got a pretty hard floor down here though, under it. So not my favorite. XPE, EXPE. You're short on EXPE. Let's see if that's good news. Well, hopefully you got short up here. It's trying to fill this gap. If I were short, I would have a stop right here, this high. But when above that, it could probably be going on to fill that gap a little bit more. So that stop would be 115.20 on me. Tony, workday. Not sure if there's enough data. Yeah, there is. Nice uptrend. You missed it. It's too mature of a trend for me to get long on, and to try and short it, it's a long way from shorting. Interesting company. I think the guy's name Dave Duffield, maybe. He's got it founded PeopleSoft, and then they got bought out by Larry Ellison at Oracle, and he went off and started a competitive company. Pretty cool. Very successful guy, smart guy. You're welcome, all of you, very much. You're welcome. Got about 5 minutes till the conference. Snap. Yeah. So Snap makes me think of my 20-year-old son. He and his compatriots have nothing to do with Facebook. That's for old people. It's a pretty chaotic chart. You know, a fairly new issue, you know, the 200 moving average only goes back to here. Yeah, that's a pretty chaotic thing. You know, right after the IPO, big move down, a correction, there was the trade to go short. So that was actually a little 3, 4, 5 trade. Now it's pretty messy. Speaking of young folks and their opinions, he was bugging me because he knew I traded. He's like, man, why aren't you trading crypto? Well, this is why. This is why. He was making those comments back here. 20,000. Why aren't you trading crypto? And here's why. Larry, NOC. Yes. You were the first one to type a symbol, and I haven't done yours yet. So let's get it. Let's take care of business. Northrop Grumman, defense contractor. Beautiful run up. So we're looking, if price comes down below here, this is going to be a warning sign that the correction is beginning. This pyramid will be confirmed. If it were to break the cloud, break down through the Ichimoku cloud, let's see where this trend started. This could be a good one. Don't go long. It's too late. And if you were long, this would be an awesome stop, 333.49. So if this thing does start to correct, we got a nice price target down about, wow, 280 to 240. Best crypto to watch for reversal. I'm not doing crypto, so I would. There's some ETFs now you can go check out, but I want that market to mature before I'm going to get excited about crypto. It probably will, right? It probably will, but it's just a little too nascent for me right now. Tony, what are those triangles? They're called pyramid trading points. You heard me talk about higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, Dow theory. They identify very special higher high, higher low sequences when the ratio of the up leg is greater than the down leg, the momentum ratio. These are an indicator generated by traderscoach.com. Very helpful, very helpful. They identify great entry points at the top of the pyramids and great support levels, stop levels at the bottom of the pyramids. They're bullish when they're green, and then the red ones are bearish. And we're about to get a big bearish one. When it's yellow here, when price goes below it, it will turn red and be confirmed. And that's the exact level I think could indicate a trend shift and a correction beginning on Northrop. What would it take for me to think it's going higher? A new high? Put in a new high, then I would think it's going higher. But it's still way too late in this trend for me to try to participate. I'm a swing trader, not a trend trader, and that would be a trend trade. And the problem with it, if it does put in a new high, it probably is going higher, but we have no idea how much higher. And when I trade, I want a target, and I want to have reward to risk ratio. I want the potential on the trade to be bigger than if it wins, than the loss if it doesn't make it. That's how I maintain healthy trade statistics, healthy P&L. Do I use simple MACD? No, I don't use MACD at all. This is a price oscillator down here on the bottom. I use Elliott wave, very simple approach, Ichimoku cloud, confirm momentum with a price oscillator. I use Dow theory for trend confirmation, trend ending. And the pyramids help me see Dow theory. That's it. So we got a minute till the conference. How's our futures looking? Yeah, see, still a little bit chaotic, isn't it? Big pullback now on the ES. We do run a live trading room 4 days a week, hour and a half each morning. right at the open. We take trades, we identify them. You can see we are in two shorts, and 1, 2, 3, 4 long trades. We got long oil a couple of days ago. The option contracts in 32% profit. It's pretty nice. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, 4 are in profit. One, call it break even. FRC is a break even here, right? These are the same one. So pretty nice, pretty good profits too. So we have a pretty good time in the trading room. We don't day trade. We watch the futures markets for overall direction and setups, and take trades on individual stocks and on ETFs for the major indexes and commodities. So any breaking news? Anybody watching a live blog or news feed for Mr. Powell? I'll watch the charts. Let me know what he says. He's at the podium. Okay. Is he tapping on the mic? Is this thing on? Hello? Opening his water. Okay. While we wait for his words of wisdom, I do. If you like what's going on, if you like what you saw here in this trading room, I trade stocks and options, Alexandre. I trade stocks and options. All my analysis starts on the chart, and then if there's a good option play for it, I prefer the option. But I identify it for my subscribers. They can trade it with the stocks or the options. And I prefer TradeStation over TOS because I knew it first. I think they're equal in terms of capability. I think they're the top two. But I learned TradeStation first. I'm totally comfortable with it. They meet my needs. But lots of my customers are following along on TOS. And it's awesome too. And TradeStation gives free data and platform and commissions for veterans. And I'm a veteran, so now that's another reason to stay, huh? So again, if you like what was going on here, what we're doing, if it's a fit, it's not a fit for everybody, but maybe you feel like this dude. I threw a lot of information. I analyzed some charts really, really fast. I wanted to get through as many as possible. But if you'd like more, I can give you an offer. Right? There's 3 things that are essential to profitable trading. I think this has been proven time and again. You need great trade setups with high probability outcomes, great reward to risk management, great reward to risk ratios. You got to manage risk, and you got to manage the trades. And we do all this, and I teach this in the trading room, and we walk through it step by step on profitable trades. So if you'd like to participate for today's attendees, you can join the trading room for a week for $7. Give it a try. Put your toe in the water. And it's 100% money back guarantee, right? If it's not a good fit for you, no questions asked, no hard feelings, right? That's a pretty low risk way to check it out. It's $7 for a week. We will be there tomorrow at the market open, and we're there 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. We are there 9:15 to 10:45 Eastern, and that's 6:15 to 7:45 Pacific. And then $7 for the first week. After that, it's $59 a month, which is a 25% discount off the list price of $79. And again, money back guarantee. This used to be a 30-day offer. I got the wrong text in here. Fix the typo. So money back guarantee for the 7 days. right? Because it's a 7-day trial. 7 days seem to be a better, or a 7-day trial, yeah. So there it is. So $7 for a full week, money back guarantee. After that, it's $59 a month. So yeah, if you're interested, give it a shot. Love to have you join us. There's a good group of folks in the room. They share ideas, and yeah, it's all good. If you have any questions about that, I can happy to field them. It runs pretty much like this, but except we're calling out trades and managing them real time. And look, we're heading back down. More chaos on the S&P 500. Oil continues up, and that's really cool because we're long oil right now. We got long on the USO. When did we take that entry? We took the entry on USO on the 19th, so 2 days ago. We took it, people could take it with the shares. I called that out, and we also had an option contract that we traded it with. That is up 33% in 2 days. That isn't too bad. That's some fun trading there. I'm just going to hang out. I've been talking for an hour and a half. I'm going to drink a little coffee. We're going to watch this. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in there, and I'll be happy to field them. Oops, I wasn't, I was talking. Morris asked how many people I got following me. Trading Room's got about 180 subscribers. And Alla said, like my style, thank you. Morris, do I have a starter class for beginners with no background? I am in the process of creating a class because I keep getting that question. People go, hey, I'm a total newbie. I've never placed an order. And, you know, trying to jump into the trading room or pick service. Yeah, you might not be ready for it. So I'm developing a absolute beginner's course, and that will be launching hopefully like next month. So watch your email for that, Morris, and that might be just perfect for you. There you go, Chris. Good summary. Fed is happy, optimistic, and flatline. Right? Introduced a little volatility, but we kind of ended up back where we started, didn't we? Yeah, big nothing, Eva. You know, kind of a whole bunch of, you know, it's kind of like throwing a rock into a bunch of chickens. They all flapped their wings and squawked and then went back to sleep. I think they said 3 hikes this year is still planned. So that's really no change. Current rate increase, I think they said 25 basis points and a total of 3 this year. Now we're pulling back a little bit, huh? If we can get some follow through on this down movement, if we can get price to close solidly down below this Ichimoku cloud, ideally with like a low, lower high, new low, come down. There might be a short opportunity later today. Not right now. Hey, no worries, Alexandre. You know, if there's a better time for you in the future, um, check it out then. And your English is great. It's way better than my Portuguese. Sarah, I swing trade on, you know, from 10-minute to 60-minute to daily charts. I'm in trades at least a couple days, typically a few weeks. Yeah, Morris, if you're comfortable placing orders and trading, then you could jump right in. Because I explain things as I go, just like I do here. You're welcome, Sarah. Ned Hat, the guy. Jeremy doesn't want to get fired. The yelling copy. Well, benefit of the doubt, let's assume he has his reasons for, and it's, you know, not just one person either. There's a committee that has to vote. Meanwhile, oil is pressing on, and that's just really, really good news since we're long oil. Beautiful thing. Well, I think that's kind of it. The shorting opportunity would take a little while to play out. Again, if you're interested in taking that trial to the live trading room, $7 for a week. You can come join us tomorrow morning and then early next week and give it a shot. Love to see you there. Other than that, I think we're going to wrap it up. Yeah, my oil target is actually over $70. Hard to believe, but that's what the chart says. Morris, do I have a program where I can trade your account for you? Absolutely not. That is a whole different business model and one that I have no interest in. I hope that didn't sound harsh, but that having people's money under management requires a degree of license and certification and oversight that would be onerous. I love this job. This is so much fun. I have a great time running the trading room, pick service, doing training. It is fun. Basically be running a hedge fund, massive headache. Want no part of it. All right. Hey, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I know you said you did a fair amount of research before you landed on my service, so I'm thrilled that you like it. You're happy here. I think you said this morning you joined just the perfect time, right? You're making some nice bank. Yeah, the trading room and hours, Andre, are 9:15 a.m. to 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. Next support for ENPH. ENPH is a great trade. We are in it. We are in profit. It is too late to get in. And the current stop is at 412. That's the next support level, 412. We've already taken profit. Our stop's above our entry. It's a winner. Average holding length of the trades can run from a couple days on smaller time frame charts to 4 to 6 weeks for daily charts. Yeah, for my option trades are straight calls and puts. There's a place for spreads and other option strategies and all the strange flying creatures. But for swing trading, for directional trading, I can show you the math that the lowest risk, highest reward approach is simply buying calls, buying puts. The math bears that out. I know a lot of people love spreads. Yeah, comment on EMPH. Staggering winter. It's a solar company. It's a corrective wave. So this thing came down from lofty prices. You know, good Lord, where was the high? You know, up over 14, down to under $1. We took it after it proved it was coming up off the bottom. We got long at 386. It's currently at 460, and we got a price target at 590. It's a little late to be trying to get in, but that's a smash winner for us. We are at 19% profit in a couple weeks. Not too bad. Morris, is it possible to quit your day job and safely make a living trading my system? All depends on how much capital you have. You got to be realistic, right? My average annual returns, as posted on my website and as confirmed by independent auditors. Something wrong here. You can see averaging somewhere between 30 and 25% per year, right? So if that's using my system, if that's an adequate return for you to live on, then yes. If you got a $10,000 account, that may not be enough money to live on. So it's really about how much capital you have to trade with. F Trader. Yeah, EMPH, that worked out really, really well for us. Thank you. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and call it a wrap. One more time, that link. Who is my external auditor, if I will tell you? Of course I'll tell you. All you got to do is go look here. Here's the verification. We click here. And the company is McSwain & Company, CPA firm. And if you look, every quarter they do an audit report, and they're located in Washington here, right? They provide a complete report. They look at what I post on the website, and I give them my brokerage statements, and they confirm whether I'm actually doing what I say I'm doing. And so far, it's been a positive report. Marty, am I going to publish the USO trade to the PIX subscribers? A little late. It was moving a little fast, so I wasn't able to get that out to the PIX. But we did do it in the trading room. There's some overlap between the trading room and the PIX service, but they do have different trades at different times as well. So the ES is breaking down. Again, if it gets a nice close below this level, 27.18, call it 19, there might be a good short coming up on the ES. Look at gold go. Interesting. Maybe a gold long coming. We'll review that in the morning. Yeah, gold time. Antonis. And that oil trade, of course, huge winner. Smash home run. Awesome. All right. Hey, I am going to go ahead and wrap it up. One more time, there's the link if you're interested in that. If you miss it after we log out, I'm going to send a recording out, an email with the recording. I'll have the link in there as well. But hey, thanks everybody for being here. It was good. Appreciate all your questions, your interaction. It was very good. And hey, take care. Trade safe. Use risk control. You know, keep your winners small. Keep your winners big. Keep your winners big and your losers small. And have a plan when you trade. Have a predetermined stop and get out. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. And hey, have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.